China is taking a hardline stance in the trade dispute, betting that President Trump's concern for the stock market will force him to compromise. Despite Beijing's efforts to pressure Washington through sanctions and rare earth restrictions, Trump has responded firmly with 100% tariffs and threats of further action. While Chinese officials claim the U.S. economy is too fragile for a prolonged standoff, Trump continues to project confidence in America's economic strength and resilience. Analysts note that China's own economy remains deeply troubled with slowing growth and mounting debt, weaknesses that could undermine Xi Jinping's gamble. As Trump and Xi prepare to meet later this month, many observers believe the president's tough negotiating style may again compel Beijing to ease tensions rather than escalate further. Major U.S. banks, including Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo, posted stronger than expected third-quarter profits, signaling renewed strength across Wall Street. A resurgence in deal-making, trading, and corporate lending fueled partly by business confidence under the Trump administration has powered record-breaking results. BlackRock reached an unprecedented $13.5 trillion in assets, while investment banking and trading revenues at leading firms rose sharply amid a vibrant market environment. Although analysts note risks such as slowing job growth and potential asset bubbles, many executives credit recent pro-growth policies for sustaining momentum. Even as renewed trade negotiations with China caused brief market jitters, Trump's assertive economic stance appears to have kept investor optimism intact. President Trump achieved a major diplomatic breakthrough by brokering a ceasefire and hostage release between Israel and Hamas, earning international praise for his Middle East peace efforts. Building on that momentum, Trump is now turning his attention to ending the Russia-Ukraine war, with Ukrainian President Zelensky set to visit the White House later this week. European leaders view Trump's success in Gaza as proof of his effectiveness under pressure and hope he can apply similar tactics to bring Russian President Putin to the negotiating table. Trump's strategy of applying economic and diplomatic pressure while maintaining direct dialogue with world leaders has reinforced his image as a result-driven dealmaker. While challenges remain, including China's role in supporting Russia, Trump's bold, hands-on diplomacy has once again placed the U.S. at the center of global peace efforts. President Trump's warning of massive tariffs on Chinese goods in response to China's rare earth export restrictions caused a brief market dip, but the overall market remains fundamentally strong. The pullback, mainly in tech and regional bank stocks, is seen by some as a healthy market correction after an extended rally. Investors remain optimistic about the economy due to Trump-era tax cuts, strong corporate earnings, and potential interest rate declines. Despite short-term volatility, gains across industrials, financial, and other sectors demonstrate the resilience and broad strengths of the U.S. economy. Analysts note that while Trump's firm stance in China may create temporary uncertainty, it could ultimately boost U.S. industrial competitiveness and long-term economic growth. President Trump announced that U.S. military service members will receive their October 15 paychecks despite the ongoing government shutdown, directing the Pentagon to use available funds to make it happen. The move ensures that 1.3 million active duty troops won't face missed pay, even as Congress remains deadlocked over government funding. Trump emphasized decisive leadership by instructing Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to prioritize troop pay while blaming Democrats for stalling spending negotiations. The administration's action removes a major source of pressure amid the shutdown, demonstrating Trump's willingness to act independently to protect service members. While other government employees remain furloughed, Trump's order highlights his commitment to national security and to those serving in uniforms. President Trump announced a landmark deal between Israel and Hamas that will release all Israeli hostages held in Gaza, marking a major step toward peace after 2 years of conflict. The agreement, brokered through U.S.-led diplomacy, includes plans for Israeli troop withdrawals, increased humanitarian aid, and a structured prisoner exchange. Trump's decisive leadership and trusted advisors, including Jared Kushner, were credited with bridging gaps that had stalled negotiations for months. The breakthrough came after renewed U.S. pressure and coordination with regional partners like Egypt and Qatar, showcasing Trump's influence on the global stage. The deal, celebrated by leaders in Israel and across the Middle East, moves Trump closer to achieving one of his key foreign policy goals, ending the Gaza war and restoring regional stability. The Justice Department, now operating under President Trump's renewed leadership, is moving forward with a fair and transparent trial involving Xinyu Daniel Low, a Trump supporter charged during the Biden administration. The case, initiated under Biden-era prosecutors, centers on claims of a straw donor scheme from 2019, though no wrongdoing has been alleged against the Trump campaign or the Republican National Committee. The Trump administration's Justice Department has allowed the process to proceed without interference, demonstrating its commitment to equal justice under the law. The observers note that the trial highlights Trump's broader effort to restore integrity and accountability to federal institutions after years of politically motivated prosecutions. Despite the accusations, Lowe maintains his innocence, and the case underscores Trump's continued insistence on fairness and transparency in the American justice system. During President Trump's renewed sanctions campaign, his administration's maximum pressure strategy successfully exposed how China secretly funneled billions to Iran through covert oil payments. The report highlights how Trump's withdrawal from the 2015 Iran nuclear deal reasserted U.S. leadership in countering Tehran's illicit oil trade. Despite China's attempts to sidestep American sanctions, the Trump-era policies significantly constrained Iran's economic options and forced it into risky, hidden deals. The investigation underscores the effectiveness of Trump's sanctions architecture, which made traditional payments to Iran nearly impossible and isolated its financial system. Overall, the article reflects how Trump's hardline stance placed real pressure on both Beijing and Tehran, reaffirming U.S. power in enforcing global accountability. President Trump's economic team is projecting strong optimism for 2026, emphasizing that recent policies are laying the groundwork for a major rebound in jobs and growth. Advisors highlight that the president's Big Beautiful Tax and Investment Plan will soon deliver results, boosting employment and revitalizing American manufacturing. Despite short-term challenges, the administration remains committed to bold supply-side reforms, historic trade deals, and efforts to restore U.S. industrial dominance. Trump's decisive leadership and focus on long-term prosperity reflect his confidence in America's resilience and his commitment to middle-class families. Supporters within the administration and business community compare Trump's economic strategy to transformative historical leadership, positioning the U.S. for a new era of strength.